Test. Test 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ahab the Journeyman Plays Football Manager 2020. I'm Ahab. Thanks for joining me. This is Bath City, and we have come to the end of our first season in the Vanarama National League South. And as you can see up top, we ended up in first. The reason this is going to be a season summary is because really the last 9 games ended up being not exciting at all, and I'll show you why in just a minute. But we've placed first, so that means we're going up to the Vanarama National League. No North, no South, just Vanarama National League. That's going to be tough. We've already had some initial payroll and budget and everything set by the board and the new chairman that came in a couple of game months ago, which really wasn't an issue. Correction, new president, not board. New president. It's the way Bath City runs. They elect a new president every couple of years, and there hasn't really been a change, thankfully. They really shouldn't be, because I'm taking this team high and higher. All right, so let's talk about how the season ended. Obviously, we ended in first, and here's why there hasn't been an episode since the St. Albans City game. St. Albans City was a tough match for us. We lost 1-0 away at St. Albans City, and then we went on a tear. 1-0 at Dartford, 3-2 Hungerford, 6-0 at Dulwich Hamlet, 2-1 Tonebridge Angels, 8-0 against our rivals Chippenham Town, 3-1 and then the last game of the season we lost 1-2 away at Concord Rangers. So be it. But check out what happened to St. Albans City. This is why, aside from our tear here of what is that? That's going to be 8 games, 8 wins and 1 loss in the last 9 games, right? So here's what happened to St. Albans City. They won against us, then they drew, then they lost, they won 1, they lost, drew, and then they won their last 2. And they're in the playoffs, so we'll see what happens to them coming up. And they were really the only team with regards to the table that had any chance in catching us. After that loss to them, they were within 3 points. And then, boom, we went on that tear, and it was 14 points. Actually, it was Havant and Waterlooville took second place because it looks like they went on a little bit of a tear. Yeah, they definitely had a pretty solid end of the season here. So this is pretty crazy because we're going to get promoted to the Vanarama National League, and that means a lot of things. Unfortunately, that means that we're going to lose Claudio Lolos because he's on loan. That means we're going to lose, actually, quite a few of our solid players. Ross Stern, 17 assists for the season. I mean, I don't know if his stats are going to keep up, so I don't know if I'm going to re-sign him for the next season. Plus, he's 29. Ryan Clark, our goalkeeper, was pretty solid. His stats are okay. I'm not sure if I can get... I think I can get better. I don't know. I might re-sign him just to keep him on because he's a team leader. He's old, and he's also been a fan of the team. There's kind of like a little bit of nostalgia there. But, I mean, let's look at this still abusing the trial system. But Ashley Harper is... I might re-sign Ashley Harper. He might have some potential, but his determination is really low, so I might not. Andy Watkins has been, until recently, going downhill, and then literally in the last month, since it looked like we were going to get promoted, he started training harder. I'm not sure what that was about. Tom Richards wanted to leave until recently, and frankly, probably going to let him go. I mean, so many. Jordan Simpson, I just don't think I can hold on to him because I don't think Matt Bauer was a starting defender. Really, really slow. Really slow. Jamie Gosling. I mean, he has some okay stats, but his physicals are just non-existent. Dan Ball. Not too bad, but he's been declining. Been playing him a lot. He's been declining. Had never played Adam Mann, so he's definitely not getting re-signed. Jack Batten was a starting defender. I would re-sign Jack Batten. Actually, he might be a re-sign here coming up. Now that I look closer, but so many players I'm not going to be re-signing, and obviously we already have a couple that I'm keeping on, but so we're losing Adebisi, most likely, who would be solid, I think, for us, and has been solid in this division. Claudio Lolos has been solid in this division. Could possibly do better. Alex Hartridge was a solid defender for us, and I'm not sure. Can we get him on loan again? Where's Exeter? Exeter is going to get relegated to Vanarama National next season, I think. Let me put that quick. Yes. Oh, no. They just beat out relegation, unless they have a relegation playoff. I don't know. We might not get him back. So, yeah. Stuart Lewis is a pretty solid signing. I'm not sure why he's been declining, but that's okay. Tom Smith, I'm happy to keep him on. He's been pretty solid. My one big gaffe for the season was signing Scott Nielsen to 2-year cheap contract as a fringe player. He's been absolutely terrible. And Ryan Brunt, I re-signed him because he was our top goal scorer, and I'm planning on using a slightly different tactic going into next season, and he could be a solid target man for us. So, come on, Mr. Brunt, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. But yeah, I'm going to be losing. I can't even count how many players I'm going to be not signing. So it's pretty much going to have a completely new team for the next season, and I've kind of got a problem with that because A, I've never done it before, and B, I feel like I don't have any information on the players we need. We've been scouting tons of players. We've been trialing tons of players, but in terms of scouted players, I mean, look at the amount of information we actually have on these people. And then just as an example, Janelle Bennett here, who plays for Tottenham. Okay, so we have him pretty well scouted out. That's not bad. Might be able to get a loan for him. But we just have we only have 131 players that we've quote unquote scouted, and that's not enough. That is not enough. And then just as an example here, in terms of folks, let's go to any. We can get our maximum here. So these are folks that would be interested in a transfer to Bath based upon some light attributes for defensive midfielder. And anytime I add attributes, it severely cuts down how many players. We just don't know enough about people. And it's very, very frustrating because I'm used to knowing a little about people. So it's presenting and even if we know something, like I don't know anything about Tom Platt. All right, he's no unknown personality. No, looks like he has pretty solid determination and teamwork and work rate. So that would be solid. Actually, this might be a guy I would go for. And his contract expires here. So I don't know. Looks like he's a box-to-box midfielder. Let's see. I might just have to go out on some limbs. So defensive midfielder support. Strength is not that good. Decisions are okay. Positioning is absolutely abysmal. Maybe he would do Segundo Volante on attack. How's that? Not much better. And granted, we still are at Vanarama National League level, but so I am severely handicapped with the amount of information the lack of information I have. But that I'm still, I am optimistic. So we have an okay balance. We've got 100,000 in the bank. We lost. We kept losses to a minimum throughout the season. So the money we received from the tournaments earlier in the season and our gate receipts were pretty good. But we've got a problem with Vanarama National League. Let's just go here. 1 second. Bath City, Vanarama. A mouse game is not strong. Vanarama National. Go up to National League, and let's look at rules. All right, so the big problem that we have for us at Bath is this right here. Minimum stadium capacity 4,000. Minimum stadium seating capacity 500. Let's look at Bath's facilities. Our stadium capacity is 3,528, so we don't meet the minimum capacity. We do meet the minimum seated capacity, which is good. That's great. But boy, we've got it. We got to spend money already to be in the Vanarama National League. So I don't know what the board is going to do. Unlike other folks like Zilla, who has had a interesting experience with his board, and Chairman Jimmy, I've had really no interactions with the board and the president. So I don't know how they're going to behave. I know they're extremely happy with getting promoted and how things are going, but there's a lot of unknowns here. There's a lot of question marks. So the summer window or the summer break for Bath City is going to be huge. And I'm honestly very excited for the folks who watch these series for the next episode to see where I take things. Because at this moment, I don't even know where I'm taking things. I'm planning on, as I said, changing a little bit of. This is the primary formation and tactic that I use throughout the whole season. Now, this tactic is a tactic that I pulled from FM20.co.uk with their tactic tester, and I modified it just a tiny bit for lower league, whereas this is the raw tactic here. They have ball playing defenders here. I changed it, and that's really the only big change. I changed it to center defenders because I mean, come on, this is lower leagues. I don't want defenders taking chances, and I'm sure that does change quite a bit how the tactic plays when you have talented players. We don't have talented players, and it's come through for us because we won the Vanarama League South with 14 points in hand. The next season with Vanarama National League, I'm going to be using this tactic. And if you see BTN, that's bust to net. My favorite FM, content creator, I guess I should call him, is Dodgit with his bust to net. He has a wonderful series, the Kingstonian series, and this is a 4-4-2 DM that he has created with his Kingstonian save, and it looks it looks exactly in a way I want to play. It looks like it can control the ball, and it's a 4-4-2. I don't know. I'm kind of liking playing with a 4-4-2. I've played with, in the past versions of FM, I've played with 4-1-2-3s and 5-2-3s and 5-2-1-2s so much that I guess for FM20, I'm just kind of trying something different. So this is not my own tactic. I have not changed this. This is completely Daljit's tactic, so credit goes to him with how this turns out. But I wanted a little bit more of a change because with the previous tactic, with the tactic that I got from FM Base, I felt like the two DMs didn't really affect the midfield as much as I like to have them affect. So I feel like having the Segunda Volante down here pushes up into the midfield. So the way this works is you have the wide midfielder. They kind of tuck in right around here. So the wingback goes up along the sides. The target man's going to tuck in right into this box here. Pressing forward is going to do his thing. Inverted winger is going to just kind of come in here. So the fullback with the overlap is going to be running up and down in here. Segunda Volante is going to be dominating this space right in here. And the defensive midfielder is going to be holding space right in front of the two defenders. So this is a wonderfully dynamic tactic, in my opinion. And I mean, it's fantastic. Kingstonian and Daljet at Bust the Net have done well with it. So I'm hoping I can do it some credit in my own save here. There's two tactical styles that you can play with this, and I'm going to start with his positive style, and then there's a balanced style that you can use just to kind of throw a wrench in the AI's plans later on in the season, and I'll get into that when that comes. Assuming I stay in charge of Bath long enough to get to that point, I have no idea how this next season's going to go. Speaking of myself and the Journeyman, let's have a look at what's going on. Literally in the last game week, we completed the National B license. Woohoo! And I went immediately to the board the next day and said, hey, how about that National A license? And they're like, you know what? You're doing so well. Why not? So they're funding the National A license, which theoretically should take 4 months. So end of April, end of May, end of June, end of July, end of August. Theoretically, I should have my National A license. And my stats are not too shabby. My level of discipline went from 2 to 7 right when I got the National B license. I was concerned because level of discipline is a key coaching stat. My determination is pretty solid at 4, and my motivating is pretty solid at 6. So we're getting some solid stats aside from working with youngsters, which I can understand. I haven't really worked with too many youngsters in this particular save, but I'm content with the way the stats are going, and hopefully, obviously, I don't think I will be as grand as a pre-made manager, or as grand as you can make them, but I'm happy. One contention I do have is adaptability, which I find kind of weird because at the beginning of the save, they asked me all sorts of questions because I'm a known polyglot with English, Spanish, German, and Italian fluency. So I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because I'm in an English-speaking country and I'm speaking English, but whatever. So that's it for this particular season. It was really, really good season. I don't have anything else to really say for it other than let's just take one last look at the table. So we won 29 games. We drew 7 and we lost 6. That's a solid season for any team, let alone a team that's in the Vanarama National League. And I don't know what's going to happen. I was thinking about this as the season ended. What happens with Bath if I get some employment opportunities in, like, say, League One or the Championship, or what happens if I get fired from Bath? Where do I go from here, assuming something happens poorly to Bath, yada, yada, yada. So I've decided that this series is going to stick with the Journeyman attitude to some extent. What I mean by that is I'm going to give it the old college try with Bath here in the Vanarama National League. But if things start going bad, I might start putting my name in for other jobs, because unless something truly big comes along, which I doubt it will at this point because I'm still in National B, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, a little bit of a shorter episode because there isn't much more to go over because I don't know anything. I haven't done anything like with my Deportivo save, I had done a bunch of the summer work pretty much right at the season ended, so I could do that in the season summary. I can't do that in this save. I'm going to take a lot of time to get this summer work done. So obviously I'm putting this episode out, in the first week of March here on a Tuesday. I don't know if I'm going to get the next Bath City Journeyman episode out before next week. Certainly, I'm not planning on doing it this week. I will say that much. So, keep posted for the next update because a lot is going to happen. And the next episode will probably be a long one because I'm going to have a lot to talk about. So anyway, guys, thanks, and gals, if you're here, thanks for joining me for this summary episode of Bath City Journeyman. To come next time, the summer transfer window and our promotion into the Vanarama National League itself. Hope to see you next time. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.